Emotional neglect is one of the most misunderstood experiences a person can grow up with. It's quiet. It doesn't leave obvious scars. There are no dramatic stories that easily explain it. And because of that, many people who lived through emotional neglect don't even realize it happened to them. They just feel different, more mature, more distant, more self-reliant, more sensitive, yet somehow stronger. But here's the truth most people never hear. Emotional neglect doesn't only shape wounds. Over time, it can also shape powerful strengths. Not because neglect was good, but because the human mind adapts in remarkable ways. Today we're going to explore the lifelong effect of emotional neglect, and more importantly, these 6 strengths that often grow out of it. If you recognize yourself in this, nothing is wrong with you. In fact, many of the qualities you carry are rare, deep, and quietly powerful. Let's begin. First strength, you develop an unusually high level of emotional awareness. When emotional needs aren't named or acknowledged in childhood, the brain learns to observe emotions carefully. Psychology shows that children who don't receive emotional guidance often become self-observers. They learn to scan their inner world because no one else is helping them make sense of it. As an adult, this can look like being deeply introspective. You notice subtle shifts in your mood. You can sense when something feels off, even if you can't immediately explain why. You often reflect before reacting. While this may sometimes feel like overthinking, it's actually a refined emotional radar. Research indicates that people who grow up without emotional validation often become skilled at recognizing emotions, both their own and others. You may notice things other people miss: tension in a room, discomfort behind a smile, emotional undercurrents in conversations. The positive reframe here is powerful. What once developed as a survival skill becomes emotional intelligence. With practice, this awareness allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. It gives you the ability to build meaningful connections when you choose to, because you understand emotions on a deeper level than most. Second strength, you become highly self-reliant. Emotional neglect teaches a quiet lesson early on. I can't depend on others to meet my emotional needs. While painful, this lesson often produces strong independence. Psychology shows that when children must regulate emotions alone, they develop internal coping systems earlier than others. As an adult, you may be someone who handles problems calmly under pressure. You don't panic easily. You know how to sit with discomfort. You're capable of making hard decisions without constant reassurance. Others may see you as strong, grounded, or unshakable. And while this self-reliance sometimes makes asking for help difficult, it is also a profound strength. You trust yourself. You know you can survive emotional storms because you've already done it many times. The positive reframe is this: your independence isn't coldness, it's competence. When balanced with connection, it becomes resilience. The ability to stand on your own without closing yourself off to others. Third strength, you develop deep empathy for others. It may sound surprising, but emotional neglect often creates highly empathetic adults. Research indicates that unmet emotional needs increase sensitivity to others' emotions. When you felt unseen, you become attuned to seeing others. You notice when someone is struggling, even if they don't say it. You're often the person people open up to. You listen without judgment because you know what it feels like to not be heard. This empathy isn't performative. It's quiet and sincere. You don't rush to fix people. You understand that being present is sometimes enough. The positive reframe here is important. Your empathy is not weakness. It's emotional depth. In a world that often avoids discomfort, your ability to sit with others' pain is rare. When paired with boundaries, this empathy becomes one of your greatest relational strengths. Fourth strength, you are highly adaptable. Growing up with emotional neglect requires constant adjustment. Psychology shows that children adapt to emotional environments by learning flexibility, changing behavior to maintain stability. As an adult, this often looks like adaptability in many areas of life. You can adjust to new environments quickly. You're able to read situations and respond appropriately. You survive change better than most. While this adaptability may sometimes feel like you don't fully belong anywhere, It also means you can navigate uncertainty with grace. You've learned how to function even when emotional conditions aren't ideal. The positive reframe: adaptability is a leadership trait. It's creativity. It's survival intelligence. When you learn to anchor this flexibility to your own values, it becomes a superpower rather than a burden. Fifth strength: you develop a strong internal moral compass. When external emotional guidance is lacking, people often turn inward to decide what's right and wrong. Research suggests that individuals who experience emotional neglect often develop values independently, rather than adopting them automatically from authority figures. As a result, you may have a strong sense of integrity. You think deeply about fairness, kindness, and responsibility. You don't follow the crowd easily. You act based on what feels right to you, not what gains approval. This inner compass can make life feel heavier at times. You take responsibility seriously, but it also makes you trustworthy. People know where you stand. Your principles are steady, even when circumstances change. The positive reframe: your moral clarity is rooted in self-awareness. You don't need external validation to know who you are. That quiet certainty is rare. Sixth strength: you have a profound capacity for growth and healing. Perhaps the most powerful lifelong effect of emotional neglect is this: you are capable of deep transformation. Psychology shows that people who have reflected on their emotional experiences often possess strong metacognitive skills, the ability to think about their own thinking. You question patterns, you notice cycles, you're willing to do inner work, even when it's uncomfortable. Many people who grew up emotionally neglected become highly intentional adults, actively choosing who they want to become. This means you're not stuck, you're evolving. You may spend more time reflecting, journaling, or learning about psychology and self-growth. That's not because you're broken, it's because you're aware. The positive reframe: healing is not about erasing the past. It's about integrating it. Your awareness gives you the ability to build a life that feels emotionally authentic, not just functional. If you recognize yourself in these strengths, take a moment to let this sink in. Emotional neglect was not your fault, and yet the qualities you developed because of it are real, valid, and meaningful. You don't need to minimize your experience to appreciate your resilience. Both can exist at the same time. Pain shaped you, but so did insight, strength, and depth. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your independence is not isolation. Your reflection is not overthinking. These are signals of a nervous system that learned early and adapted intelligently. If this video resonated with you, you're not alone. Many people carry these same quiet strengths without ever having words for them, and understanding yourself is the first step toward using these qualities in healthier, more fulfilling ways. If you want more insights like this, gentle, research-based reflections on personality, behavior, and hidden strengths, subscribe to the channel. There's so much more to explore about who you are and why you are this way. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming.